Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome to the Duck Talks number 42, the ultimate answer. Yes, I hope you got the reference. Well, you also could name this episode, I guess, Fresh French Balance. So that's practically the essence of what I want to talk about. First of all, the announcement of the French nation entering War Thunder, then also the revamp of certain BRs for tanks, which in general was a good direction that Gaijin went. Then also I want to talk about the sponsorship by Wargaming and if there is any and not. Then also talk about the Free Golden Eagles app and also the tank RB feeling overall. And also want to answer certain questions from last Dark Talks, which is more than 3 weeks ago. But first, it's time to get a bit selloutish. Today's video is sponsored by the Free Eagles app for War Thunder. Download the app in the video description below and use the code shown on screen to get 10 Golden Eagles right now. I hope you got the joke and don't mind it. And that is also something that I want to talk about later on, the Free Golden Eagles app, because it could be really worse and I want you to encourage to use it, and I will also tell you why. So, first of all, the French planes will enter War Thunder in patch 1.73. So that's the next major patch, right? First tip, please update your dev server client if you have any, because there was something new on it. I'm not quite sure if the planes are already there, when the dev server will go live, and if it's in the near future or just in, like, I don't know, a month's time. I don't know. I'm as informed as you are at this point. French, are they retreating or are they really marching forwards? I have no idea. I do not know too much about French planes at this point in time. I just know that we have currently 3 premium planes within the, well, British tech tree, the DB7, and also the demonetization 520 and 521. The 520 was once available via purchase. Now it's a rare, it's a rather rare plane. I don't know. At some point they switched it to a bundle and then completely removed it, something like this. I don't remember. I don't care. I have it. And the D521 is a rather rare event reward vehicle. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. Well, and there you can see where it's going, like with the DB7. So I will expect them to also appear in the tech tree for the French, much like there are a lot of Italian planes that originated, so to speak, gameplay wise or game-wise from the German tech tree. A bit of copy and paste keeps the game alive. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm really interested how they will work out. I guess they will count as an allied nation, so most likely they will face German planes. Then I'm really interested how they will kind of manage it with the development process of those planes. So this is something that immediately popped into my mind after 1940, after the invasion of France. How did the development of planes continue? I don't know too much. I'm quite sure that some of you will tell me in the comment section, and you know, if you want to, please do so. You're free to do so. And I am really interested how it will influence the balance. And yeah, the pre-order packs are of course already out there with the Narval Advanced pack for 30 euros for the SO 8000, which looks pretty awesome. It's kind of a very strange mixture of a P38 and a DO 335 in pusher configuration, much like the JW71. So it's a very strange looking aircraft just from the few pictures that I saw. Also the D371 looks amazing with the machine guns mounted on the top of the wing, which looks like a biplane where they forgot the second wing section. So it looks like it looks quite nice. That's what I want to say. yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. For me, that is quite surprising, as we saw so much introduction this year already. Remember, we saw just 5 months ago, or roughly 5 months ago, the introduction of the Italian tech tree. Yeah, I forgot to speak English there for a moment. Sorry about this, guys. So we saw 5 months ago the introduction of the Italian tech tree into War Thunder, with also around about 30 aircraft. Yes, the tech tree still looks a little bit empty, but it's good enough to progress through it quite fast compared to older nations, especially, for example, the Soviet and the German tech tree, which is quite full at this point in time. And yeah, so what will we see most likely are a weird mixture of attackers, bombers, and fighters. And this is something that I'm really looking forward to, some fresh blood in War Thunder. But then again, also how it will work out with the Vichy regime. If we see kind of a mixed matchmaker at, for example, around about tier 3, tier 4, maybe sometimes on the Axis side, sometimes on the Allied side, to a certain degree, much like, you know, Italy should be handled, because it switched sides at the end of the war. So those are certain thoughts. Also, will we see new maps which are more focused on France, like Le Havre, which is a really nice looking harbor map. Also certain other Atlantic coastal or Atlantic coast based naval bases with the big U-boat bunkers, to a certain degree much like we see on Norway, which is a portion of Norway that I really like from a visual standpoint. So many thoughts go into my mind. I also guess that we see a so-called beta phase. That's why there are already the pre-order bundles out there, and I hope I can give you information as soon as possible, more informations, dev server anytime soon. So that's quite something that I'm looking for. Then balance of tanks, and in the video description below, I hope I will not forget it to put it there, you can see the link to the post from Stoner, where we see certain tanks being changed in their battle rating, and I go through it and say what I think of that. But I can spoil you, most of them are really nice at this point in time. First, I talked just about RB, and the first battle rating is the old one, the second one is the new one. IS-6 going from 7.0 to 7.3. Oh really? Who would have thought that? Then the T-55A from 8.3 to 8.7. Yeah, that's the combination of stabilizer, APHE and AP-FSDS. So it's a really good tank. But if it really deserves the 8.7 battle rating, you know, there is still a bit too much compression for my taste. The T-64A 1971 goes from 8.7 to 9.0. Yes, that's definitely needed because reasons. Then 8.3 to 8.7 for the IT-1. Yes, finally. Then a few Panzer III versions going most likely down in their battle rating, I guess due to the bad turret traverse speed. Sture Emil from 6.0 down to 5.7 for such a brutal gun. You might ask yourself, it's the mobility and the gun handling that is a problem. Then again, the gun is extremely powerful. 7.3 to 7.7, which is long time overdue for the bloody T-54-47. Finally, that's a good thing. Then M24 from 3.7 to 3.3. Really? Do people really play this fantastic little fun tank that badly? Well, seems likely. Much like with the M41 Walker Bulldog from 6.3 to 6.0. Then again, it reduces the gap between the M41 Walker Bulldog and the previous tank a little bit, but it just opens. Well, never mind. The M55-1 Sheridan from 8.0 to 8.3. do people really play it that good? Because I think it's too slow for a light tank, but then again, Gaijin knows better. T95 from 6.7 to 7.0, a tank that when I really covered it last time, I really hated on for what it is, for how it plays and how ridiculously vulnerable it is to a certain degree, thanks to the cupola. So people must have played it really strong in the last few, well, weeks, since there was this ninja patch that introduced the cupola buff. I guess it really deserves 7.0. Because when you can really not do anything against it with German tanks, except for the RE251, which is a premium tank, which is an issue that is still not solved. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So T10M from 8.0 to 8.3. So in the new meta, this heavy tank actually received a battle rating increase. And it's about bloody time. And then the M60 goes from 8.0 down to 7.7. And all other two variants, M60A1 AOS and M60A1 Rise P, go up by 0.3 battle rating respectively. This is definitely 100% the influence that a stabilizer has. That's my opinion. And well, then the MBT70 from 8.7 to 9.0. Still, it should be 9.7, something like this. The awesome combination of rate of fire, firepower once you get the APFSDS shell, and ridiculous mobility makes it really strong. M60A2 from 8.0 to 8.3. Oh, I'm not quite sure. It's too strong at 8.0 for sure, but it's a bit too weak at 8.3 in my opinion. So it's again something that falls into the compression. Leopard 1 8.0 to 7.7 and Leopard A1 from 8.0 to 8.3. So same pattern as we saw for the M60. Again, the really only big difference is the stabilizer, which is something that I always wanted to point out. And then, yeah, KPZ70 goes from 8.7 to 9.0, much like the MBT70. Did I just say KPZ70 to the MBT70? You know, it's basically the same tank, except the real-life reload, which in the game is still the same. But that's not my problem, really. Jagdpanzer 45. 7.3 to 7.0. So Gaijin agrees on that with me. Interesting. Much like on the both German Raketenjagdpanzers, 8.0 to 8.3 and 8.3 to 9.0 for the Raketenjagdpanzer 2 and the Raketenjagdpanzer 2 Hot respectively. Yeah, I made a video about the Raketenjagdpanzer 2 Hot, asking a question if it is fit for the meta, for the new meta. And obviously it is. 800 millimeters of pure heat penetration is no joke. So I guess I have to test it, but I think it can still penetrate any tank in the game, with maybe the exception of the M60 A1 Rise P. But I still have to test it. Chieftain Mark 10 from 8.7 to 9.0. Well, that's a strange one. Because out of the new high-end tanks, the Chieftain Mark 10, in my opinion, is the weakest one. So, again, 8.7 is too low, 9.0 is too high. But, you know, it's the right step. It's a right step into the... It's a good step into the right direction. That's what I wanted to talk about. Because it leads more to decompression. So overall, a good change. Like with the Chieftain Mark 5, also from 8.3 to 8.7. Nice. Then M24 from 3.7 down to 3.3. That's an interesting one. Again, Walker Bulldog with 6.3 down to 6.0. Why do we have this here? Oh, that's probably for the Chinese. Yeah, there we go. Hori prototype from 6.0 to 6.3. I'm not surprised, and I think that's okay-ish. If you look at the stats and how it really handles in the battle, it behaves like a better Ferdinand. So why should it have a lower battle rating? It's a good change. STB1 from 8.0 down to 7.7. and again the Type 74 from 8.3 to 8.7. I do not really... It's strange. It's again the same pattern that we saw with the Leopards and the M60s. The STB1 in my playstyle handles better than the Type 74. I have more fun in the STB1, and well, both have stabilizers, so that's not an argument. So why there is, or with the within a few days time, as of the 16th of October, where the patch will drop, we will see between those two tanks now a 1.0 battle rating gap that is by no means justified, in my opinion. And the Type 61 goes from 7.0 down to 6.7 to kind of match the RE251, I guess. That is a bit on the side, because the Type 61 is reasonable fast and also has the heat defense shell. But then again, we see so much compression that I guess this tank will not be the end of the world as we might know it. And finally, the BE6 from 5.3 to 5.0. I think that's the aftermath of the bad introduction of this plane. I have not covered it yet, but I really like the gunners. But then at the beginning I really disliked damage model. Since then they overhauled it, or so-called, you know, patched a so-called bug where the plane just fell apart after a few hits. Yeah. Then also other changes. First of all, KV-1 Sys-5 has been moved to the 3rd rank. KV-1E position has been changed, has been moved to the 3rd rank under the Soviet-German M4A2, and many other, well, changes that are not that significant. Then T-92 and M56 vehicles have switched places in the research tree. It's got about damn time. And Jagdpanzer for 5 position has been changed and will now be after the Stura Emil. That's interesting. That is really interesting, because it really didn't feel right after the Jagdtiger, which is such an armored monstrosity with such a huge gun, and then all switches to a completely different playstyle, except for the perspective of the casemate tank destroyer design. Yeah, then there's also a link to the economy changes, and there are quite some changes, so let's have a look at them as well. Let's begin with the USA, and oh boy, the B-29 gets up above 17k, up to 48k, 48,000 civil lines per battle maximum repair costs. Wow. But then again, the MBT-70 goes down by 11k to 5k. That's good. It really broke tank economy. I don't really feel sorry for the B-29. Then for Germany, and there's a bit of a strange thing going on. ME-262A1A, the original one, plus 3.4k up to 24.4. Really? And then the ME-262C1A minus 8k down to 16k. Really? The better one? Okay. And then the ME-262A2A, you know, the rather rare reward one, minus 4.1 to 14.2. You know, that's the one with the lower battle rating that performs in my eyes a little bit better than the ME-262. Am I really that wrong? But then the TAR 152C3 minus 10k in repair costs down to 19. Wow, was it really that expensive? I never noticed. Then a personal favorite of mine, the Do 217 Bomberline, gets a little bit reduced, just a little side note. And yeah, the KPZ-70 minus 11.4 down to 4.9k. Yeah, it really broke the tank's economy. Mouse gets up to 4.6k repair costs. Really, Gaijin? I mean, you know, it's not a big deal, but really? Yeah. Then a lot of changes, but mostly we saw overall, I guess, reductions in the repair costs for tanks for Germany, except for the middle tier, but not too many drastic changes. LA-174 going to Russia, plus 2.7 to 11.4. So you know, we saw an event where where you could get this vehicle, and I guess more people play it, get more more success in it. So there is that. The Tier 4, my all-time favorite, most balanced plane in the game, plus 18,000 silver lines repair costs per battle, going from 36,000k or 36k to 54k. I guess nobody really minds, because it will not change anything. I mean, how the plane plays, it does not really address the real issue with it, but it's the first step into the right direction. The T64 from well, it goes down by 12.8k down to 4.3. Yeah, I guess that's also good. That's also a good change. IS6 plus 1,000 silver lines to 4.8. Give it Tier 4 repair costs, really, it's disgusting. Even the battle rating change will not change that much, and I will show you, you know, after the change why. I really promise. Then the Hunter, minus 10k to 20k. Wow. Then, like a lot of the other new tanks in 1.71, Chieftain Mark 10, minus 11.6 down to 4.7k. Yeah, out of them, this one deserves it the most. Then British got a lot of reduction in terms of tanks, and I guess that's down to the CAS nerf. So an indirect result of the CAS nerf. Yeah, but then look at Japan. Oh, wow. The J2M3 and the J2M5 go up both by 8k to 24,000. People must be really still clubbing hard in those. The same goes for the Kia 84 Otsu and High, around about plus 8 to 23 and 27,000 silver lines each. And the R2Y2s also with the V3, plus 10,000 to 29,000 silver lines. And then look at Italy. G55 Series 1 plus 7,000 to 21,000, G56 plus 10,000 to 31,000 silver lines repair costs, and F84G plus 8,000 to 24,000. Wow. Well, that's a sledgehammer in the face, I guess. Yeah. Wow. And those were the biggest changes. So there is a big Excel sheet for you to look at with the changes. Again, you can find it in the video description below. Wow. From one War Thunder in-game currency topic to a real-life currency topic. I guess you guys have heard about the adpocalypse from YouTube. Yeah, it also has kind of affected me. Not just that per 1,000 views I get even less cents revenue. No. Even some of the videos get demonetized, much like it was covered by the Mighty Jingles, and the same happened to me. So when I then want to them being manually reviewed, they get, well, given the okay later, but by that all the views happened, all the potential ad revenue is now worthless. So thank you, YouTube. And I have not decided yet if I will do an advertising video for in any way, shape or form for wargaming about World of Warships, because I guess not really World of Tanks, although with the new changes on their test server, I might have a look at it for me in private. With the new graphics, they are actually looking pretty good, so I have to give it to them. Wargaming, you are really surprising me what you can achieve with this old crappy, what is it, big world engine. So that's surprising. Yeah, then the next currency issue, free Golden Eagles app. Do you guys use it? I have seen that a few of you use it, at least, as I get a few Golden Eagles, and it has to become much more so that I get 20% share of it. and that then in the shape of golden eagles for the game if you use the code, and that then goes to well, what should I say, yeah, back into the game directly. Overall, I also have to say that this is something, so if you ask yourself how you can support me, well, use that, because that again goes back into the game, helped me, you know, making more videos about higher tier stuff, which is really expensive. And currently I have used a lot of my Silverline boosters to get to hold myself above 100,000 Silverlines. And with this announcement, first of all, playing top tier becomes much more accessible, so I will probably cover the T64 and the Kampfpanzer 70 again after the change, because I actually lost a lot of money playing those, like the Chieftain, which I really, the Chieftain Mark 10 that is, which I really began to dislike therefore. Then also I have a better feeling in Tank RB overall, because of the CAS nerf, so less being bombed by aircraft, or shall I say rocketed, and we see more German aircraft with more cannon CAS as I predicted, which is overall more balancing, I guess, and I think that's a good one. I really don't miss the old time with, oh, I fire a rocket in the general direction of you and you're dead. Yeah, I guess now it deserves again the name Tank RB. Then, yeah, the new tanks in 1.71 led to an overall more compression of the meta, and even with this decompression patch that we see, that we will see in the near future, it's not good enough. It's the right direction, but not good enough. So it gets back to the old compression issue of 1.69 without the hash issue for the Russians. Thank you, Gaijin. Really, it was the one thing that made the British really powerful aside their APDS stabilizers and CAS, really. So everybody that is now, you know, whining why the British got nerfed so hard, the problem for that is that now Russia is unleashed again in the games that I played, especially with the Object 120, where I today released a tank review, which is an insanely powerful tank, but the story is not that clear. But then again, with the decompression, that means it will now no longer see the Kampfpanzer 70, which gives it practically free reign. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Wow, I'm not quite sure at this point in time what I should say, so yeah, I guess. Then questions from last Duck Talks, and the first comes from Carnipax. What I think about the VK4502P, if we should see it in War Thunder. And he states that it was actually used in combat. Well, if that is true, because I don't know anything about the vehicle, I wouldn't mind it in War Thunder, but I quickly looked it up in raw stats. It's nothing really that we don't have in the game already in one shape or another, so it doesn't bring anything new for German playstyle. And so I guess it's a plus-minus addition for the overall value of War Thunder Germany. The rest of the comment section under the Duck Talks number 41 was of course full of response to the question from me if I should make an advertisement video that's being sponsored by Wargaming about Wall of Tanks / Wall of Warships. And the first thing is, again, thank you very much how civilized it was. Really, I saw not a lot of immature comments. There were practically two positions. Two that said, oh please no, I don't like wargaming, and a lot of the other, or a big other part of the comments was, sure, go for it. I will probably not very much, I will not be very interested in watching it, but I like you getting some money out of it. So that was, I guess, a lot of support, so thank you very much. And I still am not sure whether I should make one or not. Because usually I would say no, but then I saw a new format of advertisement that an old friend of mine showed me, and I was like, hell, I could do something like this about the, well, World of Warships section of history. So it's very weird. I'd like to try it out, and that would be amazing to do, but a lot of work, a lot of time, and so you will be maybe see it next year even. I'm not quite sure. So this is a bigger project that I'm thinking about. Nevertheless, quite exciting in theory. How it will work out in practice, I will see. So, and that's basically it for today's Duck Talks number 42, the ultimate answer that we never got. Thank you, Napalm, for just rambling on for 30 minutes. Never mind. So, again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and listen more to my rambling. Yeah, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.